equations. This is super, super, super awesome. My favorite time of the year. All right, so now, yesterday we learned how to find slope, right? Well, let's talk about another piece of a linear equation. And that piece just happens to be called the y-intercept. Yep. It's called the y-intercept. Now, y-intercept is exactly what it sounds like. It's exactly what it means. Y means the y-axis. So this y right here really means it's coming from the y-axis. And then intercept is exactly what intercept means. Okay, for you football fans, all right, you're always rooting for the Seahawks to get an interception, which means that they cross through the line that the football is going in and they catch the ball before it gets to the other team's receiver. So intercept means crossing. So basically, the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So let's take a look. So here's our first example, okay? All right, so watch. Beep, beep. What I'm going to do is my little dot is going to try to find the y-intercept. Now, see this dot right now, this dot's just anywhere on this line, okay? All right, but as it gets closer to where the y-axis is, all right, bam, right there. That's where that line crosses the y-axis. So ready, watch. Okay, it's just on a line, beep, 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 right? Beep, 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 beep. So if you look at that, you go now on your y-axis, and that point right there, y equals 1. So our y-intercept for this line is at 1. All right, let's take a look at this one. Okay, again, we'll get my little radar on here, my little dot radar. Beep, oh, beep, 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 right? Okay, that's where that line crosses the y-axis. This is the y-axis, right? Okay, we know that because that's the y-axis and this one is the x-axis. So this spot right here is 0. So the y-intercept for this line is 0. Okay, all right, so hold on, I'm going to throw in one more line here. I'm going to go to here. Okay, all right, so if I look at this, all right, if we go down right there, my line crosses my y-axis at that point. Well, that point on my y-axis is -1, -2, -3, -4. So my y-intercept for that line is -4. That intercept is -4. Okay. All right. So let me get rid of this one because I don't want that one in there anymore. Okay. So ready? And this one was 0, right? The y-intercept was 0. Now, wait. You know, since we have the y-intercept for both of those lines, let's go back and find the slope too. So the first line, we found the y-intercept to be 1, and the second line, we found the y-intercept to be 0. Well, let's go back to those and find the slope. Okay, so if we take a look at this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find good intercepting points. Well, we already know that's a great intercepting point because it's right at 1. Okay, look it. That's another good one. This is a good one too. So now we build our stairs. So it looks like I went up 2, so that's +2, right 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, slope is rise over run. My rise was 2, my run was 4. This reduces down to 1/2. Okay, well, let's just double check that on the next one. Rise over run. So from here, up 1, right 2. What do you know? So there's the slope of my first line. The slope of my first line is 1/2. Okay. All right, now let's go look at this one. Let's find the slope of this one. So let's find some good intercepting points. Well, we already know that's a great intercepting point. And this is a good one right here. And, oh, I like this one right here. Okay, so ready? Here we go. Our rise. To go from this dot to this dot, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. So since I went down, that's a -4. So my rise was a -4. Then I turn right. Since I'm going right on my x-axis, I'm going in the positive direction, and I went 1, 2 units. So this reduces down to -2. Well, let's just see if that works for the next 2 dots. Rise over run. Down 2, so that's a -2. Right 1, +1. Okay. All right. So our slope, there's our slope. So the next one, we have our slope as being -2. Now, I know some of you guys are asking, Mrs. Parkin, why do we want to find both things out for this line? Well, because guess what we're going to do? Right now, we're going to take that information and we're going to write out a linear equation. Woohoo! That's right. Okay, all you need to write a linear equation is the slope and the y-intercept. If you have those 2 pieces, you can write an equation. Okay, so let's watch this. Ready? Here we go. Here is your formula. Okay. Oh my goodness. What a quinkadink. I didn't even know that I did this. So many years ago, we were going through slope, we were graphing equations using this, which is called slope intercept form. And we made a dance to it that goes with YMCA. Oh my gosh, what a crazy thing. We did y equals mx plus b. It's fun to graph using y equals mx plus b. All right, so this right here is called the slope intercept form. And it's y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Now, what this is, your y and your x are stuck there. They are not coming out of this equation. Your m will be replaced. So your m right here will be replaced with a value. And that value will be the slope of your line. The b is going to also be replaced, and that is your y-intercept. Okay? All right. All right, so ready? Here we go. If we go back, uh-oh, shoot. It was 1 and, oh, I already forgot. 1/2. 1/2. And this was 0 and I think it was -2. All right, so if I want to write an equation for this, first, start with your equation, y equals mx plus b. Start with that. Now, look at slope is your m. So where that m is at, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to plug in 1/2. Okay? Then I told you the y and the x are stationary. They're going to stay in there. They're like statues. All right, they're cemented into slope-intercept form. They're not coming out of this. And my y-intercept is the b. So it's plus 1. So congratulations, you guys. Okay, this equation right here is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. There's the graph, and there's the equation that goes with it. Super, super, super simple. All right, well, let's write an equation for this line. So this line, ready? Again, always start with slope-intercept form. Always start with that. The m is the slope of the line. So I'm plugging in -2. So y equals -2x plus the b is the y-intercept, and that value is 0. So you can leave it like that, or you can write it like that. You have 2 options. Okay, so your equation for this is this or that. Okay, so again, how we wrote our equation is you had to find the y-intercept and you had to find the slope, and then all you do is you substitute in what you found the slope in for your m. M is slope. Then you substitute in whatever your b you found, which is your y-intercept. All you do is you plug those values in and write out the equation. That's it. That's it. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's do this problem right here. Okay, so this is the x-axis right here, and this is the y-axis right here. Okay, so we are going to, first of all, in order to do this, we have to identify 2 parts, the y-intercept and the slope. All right, so let's start with our y-intercept first because that's the easiest one to do. All right, so we'll start at the b beginning, the b. We're going to start with the b. So the y-intercept, if I go along my line, bam, that's where my line crosses my y-axis. So that's found at -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. My y-intercept is -5. Okay, now I'm going to find my slope. My slope, I'm going to have to find some good intercepting points. Well, this is 1 already. Let's see, this is a good one down here. That's a good one. And, oh, look at that one up there. I like that one. Okay, so now I'm going to build my stairs for these. So remember, slope is rise over run. So this one is up to right 1. Up to right 1. This one is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My rise is 6, and my run is 1, 2, 3, which both of these reduce down to 2. So my slope is 2. So ready? Here we go. Y equals, my m is the slope, so that's why I have a 2 there. X. Now look at, this is where it gets a little tricky because normally it's plus the y-intercept. But look at my y-intercept. My y-intercept is at -5. So instead of writing plus -5, I can just write minus 5, and it's the same thing. Remember, y equals 2x plus negative 5 is the same thing as minus 5. Those are exactly the same. Okay, and again, congratulations. You've just written an equation for a line. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at another one. Here it is. Okay, this one right here. Okay, we're going to start with my B, which is my y-intercept. We're always going to start at the beginning, the y-intercept. So if I go down my line, there it is. That's my y-intercept. On my y-axis, that's a 1. Okay, now I'm going to find my M, my slope, right? And my slope, remember, is rise over run. So I got to find some good intercepting points. So I'm going to pick this one and this one. Okay, and I'm going to build my stairs. There's my stairs, and let's see what happens. So from this one to this one, I went down 1, 2, 3. So since I went down, that's a -3. And I went right 1. So that's a +1. Let's see what happens here. Down 3, right 1. Okay, so let's just see. Down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3. Oh my gosh, look at my staircase. I love it. So I know my y-intercept. I know my slope. So all I'm going to do is plug it into this equation. So y equals, here comes the M. Here comes the M. The M is -3x plus my y-intercept of 1. Okay, so there's the equation that goes with that line. All right. Okay, 1. Yeah, I need to show you guys this one. This one's a little bit weird. All right, so again, same thing. I'm going to look for my B, my y-intercept. I'm going to look for my y-intercept, and then I'm going to look for my M, my slope. Okay, so there it is. It crosses my y-axis at 0. Now my slope is always rise over run. So I'm going to find some good intercepting points. Well, look at, that's a good one. That's another good one. So it looks like I went down 1. That's a -1. So my rise was -1. Then I went right 1. So that's a +1. Well, let's just do this one too. I go down 1, 2, 3. So that's a -3. Right 1, 2, 3. That's a +3. Both of these, if you were to reduce them down, reduces down to a -1. Now here's where it gets interesting. Okay, because right now my equation would look like this. My slope is -1 x plus 0, right? Okay, that's what my equation after plugging those things in. But watch what you could do. So y equals, look at this, hold on. Wait, let me make this a little bit smaller. -x, sorry, it got attached to this. Come on, go away. Come on, what are you doing here? Just a sec. Looks like I gotta shrink this guy a little bit more. Okay, all right. So -1 times x is really just -x. And do you really have to include plus nothing? No. So this would be your equation. That's it. I mean, you could put the 1 in there, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to do that. All right, so there it is. That is your equation. So, I'm not quite sure what I was talking about there, so I'm just going to move forward. Okay, now, you guys, what we just did is we saw the line, the graph, and we wrote an equation. But let's do the opposite of that. Now, let's look at an equation and graph the line that goes with it. Okay? All right, so ready? Here's my equation. My equation is y equals x minus 4. Oh, I don't see a number where m should be. So what would be the invisible number in front of x that when you multiply it by x, it still gives you x? A 1. So look, ready? Okay, this is my m value, and this is my y-intercept. Notice I took the negative with it because it should be a positive, but it's not. So my m, which is my slope, is 1. My b, which is my y-intercept, is negative 4. Now, let's graph this. And you always, when you graph linear equations, you always start at the beginning. Get it? The beginning. You always start at the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is negative 4. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. I put a dot on that because here's what I know. This equation, this linear equation, crosses the y-axis at negative 4. Now, I'm going to find out what the rest of it looks like by adding on my slope. Now, my slope is 1. But remember, slope is rise over run. So 1 is really 1 over 1, or 2 over 2, or 3 over 3. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So watch what I do. I start at the beginning, the y-intercept, and I'm from this point, I'm going to put in my slope. Up 1, right 1, 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 up 1, right 1. I could go for days and days and days, but I'm going to stop. All right. And now all I'm going to do, I'm going to connect my dots. And that's it, you guys. That's all you have to do to, let me build my stairs really quick though. Okay. To graph a linear equation, that's all you have to do. You start at the y-intercept, and from that y-intercept, you graph your slope. Okay, we're going to take a look at another one. Ready? Okay, so first of all, here's my m. My m is negative 1 over 3. Notice that I assigned the negative to the rise. And my b is positive 2. Okay? All right, so b is y-intercept. So I start at the beginning. So on my y-axis, there's 2. And I just put a dot. Now I build my stairs. My slope has a rise of negative 1 and a run of positive 3. So starting from my y-intercept, I'm going to go down 1, right 3, and put another dot. Down 1, right 3, and put another dot. Down 1, right 3, and put another dot. Or guess what, you guys? Isn't 1 divided by -3 still a -1/3? Yeah. So really, I could go up 1, left 3, and look at that line still lines up with all of the rest of the dots. So here is my line. There's my line that goes with y equals -1/3 plus 2.